Hi beauties! So today's video is a little bit different. It's not about hair or makeup. Guys, please bear with me. I know this is such a taboo subject, especially growing up in the suburbs of Long Island. I feel like people are really judgmental, and I have gotten really nasty messages in the past that kind of deterred me from creating a video like this. So I decided to get this done 3 years postpartum. My daughter's 3 years old right now. And listen, I am a huge believer of self-love and, trying to be healthy, eating healthy, being conscientious with what you're putting into your body. I'm very into cooking and nutrition, all that good stuff. I definitely think you should be in the right headspace to commit to something like this. But at the same time, I want to help out girls that were in my position prior to getting this done. I wanted to keep it real with you guys and tell you that there's also nothing wrong with getting a little bit of work done and feeling good about yourself and maybe leave the stigma behind. I am currently 1 month post-op of the liposuction and BBL, so I'm just gonna be straight out front with you guys. What I had done was liposuction in this area, my stomach. My major problem area was the lower stomach. It was just something that was super stubborn, but to be honest with you guys, I wasn't killing myself at the gym. I was kind of being lazy anyway, so could it have gone away with the gym? Maybe. I guess I'll never know. But I got liposuction here, a little on my sides, my lower back, and I basically had my buttocks filled out. The second most asked question was, who is my doctor? Who is he? Or she. But no, I actually used a doctor in South America, Ecuador to be exact. That is the country that I was born in and where I have most of my family. So naturally, that's where I feel the most comfortable recovering. I have my grandma, who's my bestest friend in the whole world, and she is better than any nurse in the world. So I wanted her to be by my side. This doctor was recommended to me by one of my good friends, and I had been following him for a really long time. So I know a lot of people wouldn't necessarily trust to be outside of the US for a procedure like this because like anything, it can get complicated. So I would definitely recommend doing all of your research. And if you do choose to go that route and go outside of the country, whether that be Ecuador, Colombia, anywhere else, I would take someone with me, especially if you don't speak the language. They can sort of guide you, and you'll definitely need someone for other things such as getting medicines, picking you up after your procedure or taking you there, running certain errands, or maybe getting you food. The major thing for me was, when am I going to have this time again where I can take off for 2 weeks? Right now, as you all may know, my industry has been one of the most affected, and the majority of my clients have postponed their weddings till next year. So it seems like the perfect timing. Okay, before I give you guys all the details on what happened while I was there and my experience, I kind of want to start from the beginning. Basically, what you do is you send in what you want done, photos of your body, and it basically gives you all the directions on there. And you should be hearing from someone within days. I believe his wife is in charge of taking care of speaking to the foreigners, which, I'm in America, so I guess I was speaking to her. But she did get back to me with all the information, the pricing, the dates they had available, what I needed, all the extra stuff, how much the garments were, how much time I needed to be there. So on average, I would suggest a minimum of 10 days after surgery that you should stay, just so that you can get the best care and you're still around the doctor that did this for you in case you have any complications. And you also want to recover fully before you get back on a plane and have to fly for hours. Now I'm going to take you guys into exactly what happened each day that I was there. The person that I was speaking to recommended that because I'm coming from the US, I should arrive on a Sunday, which I arrived Sunday night. We checked into Hotel Hilton Colon. It's a Hilton hotel. And I read really great reviews on it. I thought they would be really clean as far as the pandemic going on. They seemed like they took their sanitizing serious, and that's where I thought I'd be the most comfortable. And thank God I did that, because I definitely had peace of mind being there. As soon as you arrive, they have, most places, most establishments in Ecuador have a mat where you can sanitize your feet, and you don't really touch any door handles when you go in. There's someone at the door opening the doors for you and sanitizing your hands. So when you walk in, you're walking in with clean hands and feet. A lot of the people that work at these certain establishments wear like a shower cap to also protect their hair. A lot of people wash their hair maybe once a week, so germs definitely can stick to your hair. So I really felt safe in that sense, that they took their sanitizing a lot more serious than what they seem to do here in New York. And I was very impressed by that, being that it is a third world country. The next day, Monday, I had my blood work done, my cardiac test, which is also at the clinic. And I believe I had chest x-rays done as well. They're going to give you a list of all of this. So if you email the doctor, they'll tell you exactly who to go to and when you need to go. So they'll kind of give you a itinerary of what you need to expect once you arrive. So already I felt like I was in really good hands because of all the testings that the doctor was requiring, which means that he really cares about his patients and he wants everything to go smoothly. The second day is when I had my consultation scheduled with the plastic surgeon, Bitar, and he is super sweet and friendly, very professional. Just wanted to show you guys a quick little before video. It is the day before surgery. I actually have my consultation today. I arrived on Sunday, and this is what I look like in the front. As you can see, I have a little bit of a lower belly. You could still see some ab definition up top, but not so much on the bottom. The side view. This is my before. I'm so excited. I also have to add that the clinic, Clínica Siluética is the name of it. It is very, very clean, and I love that they didn't allow anybody in there unless they were an actual patient. And he also required that you had a COVID test done prior to even entering the facility. When you arrive to the clinic, there is a guard outside, and he takes your license to make sure that they have the right person going up. And you are obligated to wear an N95 mask and goggles. And during the consultation, he inspected my body, took pictures, and then projected those pictures on a screen. And basically we talked about all the areas that I wanted taken care of. And he did mention that I might have slight scoliosis, nothing major where it was an issue my entire life, but my hip placement is a little bit off. I think by nature, most humans don't have the exact same length space on their legs or on their limbs, or maybe, I don't know if you've noticed, one of your feet might be bigger than the other. So it's that sort of thing. It was very slight. He also mentioned that my muscles on my lower abdomen had a little bit of a separation. I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but I think it's called diastasis in English, or diastasis. It happens a lot of times when you are carrying a baby and you might be a little bit more petite. Your muscles might actually stay apart and not fully come together. I didn't slip into my faja right away after having the baby. I don't know if that could have been a problem solver. I'll never know. But it is something that I was unaware of. And it is something that maybe he corrected, because I feel like I look exactly like I did prior to having the baby, and I don't see an issue with my lower abdomen anymore. I'm also still recovering, so we'll see the final results in a few more months. But so far so good, and I'm really, really, really happy. There was a fee for the consultation, and if I'm not mistaken, it was under $100. We also discussed with his secretary about payment for the surgery, which I had came prepared with. The surgery was under $7,000. The price was broken down piece by piece. You're paying for the anesthesia, the vaser liposuction, which basically means they're just taking out fat, the Renuvian, which basically is something that they do after liposuction, and it just looks like a rod that they stick into the same incisions that they did for the liposuction, and that helps your skin sort of heal onto the muscle quicker and more smoothly. And also the BBL, which is the Brazilian butt lift. So the transfer of the fat from wherever they take it to your butt. I did tell him not to use all my fat and just to use his judgment on exactly what he thought that I needed, because I really trusted him. One thing that I didn't know about this procedure is that you may actually lose 50% of the volume that he puts on your bottom. So that was really interesting to me, and it makes sense why girls might look really, really voluptuous in the beginning, and then as you go, you start working out a little bit and the swelling goes down, and then you can see the more concise results. I was really glad that the surgery was scheduled on the 3rd day of arrival, because knowing how nervous I get, I'm the type of person that might have pulled out if I was given more time. So in my head, I just kind of conditioned myself before I even got to South America that yes, I was going to feel discomfort. Yes, I was going to feel pain. Yes, it is scary. I hate needles. I hate blood. I hate all of that. I am so uncomfortable with all of that. But at the same time, I thought about the bigger picture and how good it was gonna be and how good it was gonna look, and that it will all be worth it in the end. The night before and the morning of the surgery, you are not allowed to drink or eat anything, because it can get in the way of the anesthesia and it can actually be really dangerous. So I followed directions. I arrived there on time. The first thing that they did as soon as I arrived was they had a nurse take my temperature and make sure that I don't have COVID right before going into surgery. So they took like a little prick in my finger to check for antibodies if I've had it in the past, and also if I currently had it, came out negative, so I was cleared and good to go. When I arrived, I was the only patient there, and the doctor told me that I was actually his only patient for the day, so he would be able to focus solely on my surgery, which made me really happy. He said that the surgery takes about 2 to 2.5 hours. He had me stand up and mark up my entire body, front and back, to make sure that everything would look even. And I am super ticklish. I cannot sit still, especially when there's like this dainty little marker drawing on you. I was cracking up the whole time, and he was just being so patient. After he marked me up, I had my last phone call and I FaceTimed my baby girl. I just wanted to hear her voice and see her cute little face right before going in there. So that would be the last image that I can think of, and I can just pray to God that everything goes smoothly. And I was just putting my life in his hands. After the phone call, I had a nurse walk me to the operation room, where there was a couple of nurses, the anesthesiologist, the doctor, and the thing that I was the most nervous about was having an epidural. That's the kind of anesthesia that they use down there in general when it comes to this kind of surgery, which I know to certain people it sounds so scary because you're not completely knocked out with general anesthesia. It's sort of like just a partial anesthesia and you're still aware in your mind. I was so nervous about the size of the needle going in my back, the whole thing. It just, if you Google epidurals, it looks and seems really, really scary. But honestly, they do such a great job at making you feel comfortable. I had the nurse there with me. She was putting in an IV, which I think definitely gave me something to sedate me and make me feel more comfortable. She saw how nervous I was. And I just remember the doctor asking me a couple of like really casual questions. I don't even know what he was asking me, but by the second or third question, I just remember them laughing because they saw me falling into a sleep. And I was like, oh my God, that was fast. And I didn't even feel the epidural or anything. That was like the last thought that I had in my head was, wow, that was painless. So I think what might have happened is this sort of sedated me, and maybe after that they put in the epidural. That's my theory. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. The point is that it was quick and painless. About the surgery now. So here's the thing. So I was definitely in some sort of sleep, because I don't remember the beginning at all. But I do remember mentally waking up during it, and I guess he was just finishing up whatever he was doing in the front. Then I remember them talking about, okay, now we have to do the back, and they had to flip me over. I realized that it wouldn't be so scary because I would be face down, and I just remember hearing the instrument and kind of feeling as if I was getting a massage. I did not feel an ounce of pain during the whole procedure. I think it's just more of a mental thing that you are awake hearing all this bustle going on. The doctor did ease my nerves a little bit. I was face down, I just tilted my head, and he showed me a video of the work he had done, and I was so excited because it looked so good. I vaguely remember the doctor giving directions to put on my garment after he was done, and they brought me to my room in the clinic. The nurse that stayed overnight with me and took care of me was the sweetest kind of soul I've ever met. Her name is Adelina. If you can request her, that would be awesome, because I don't know if I just got lucky. Maybe they're all super friendly like that, but I really, really loved her, and I felt that she truly cared and she loved her job. That day, I didn't eat much. I maybe took like 5 bites of soup. You're not hungry at all. And to be honest, I really didn't feel any pain per se. It just feels uncomfortable. You're still sort of in a daze. I don't know if it's because I still had my IV and maybe there was some kind of sedative in it or some kind of painkiller through the IV or something like that. Maybe vitamins and some kind of painkiller, but that day I did not feel pain at all. I actually didn't know that they had a catheter in me, which is why I wasn't asking to use the bathroom. And it was very convenient because if I would have had to get up every so often, it might have been a little bit more uncomfortable. What I did notice was that there was a bunch of red all around me, which was basically the drainage, the liquid that was coming out of me mixed with my blood. And surprisingly, I wasn't freaked out by it because there wasn't any pain that came with it. I think the first day is the day that I expelled the most liquid out of my body. The next morning, the nurse helped me in the shower. She helped me take off my garments. She was super, super gentle and beyond patient because I'm such a big baby when it comes to this kind of thing. I think it might have taken her like 45 minutes to take the garment off because I kept stopping her. Because it just felt so weird. Your skin feels so weird. It almost feels like you have a dead leg, but throughout your body, or at least everywhere that, you know, they did the work. And then she took me to get my massage, which was perfect because it was upstairs. Upstairs, they have a spa. I had my drainage massage there that morning, and again, they were super sweet. I'm just a huge baby, and I was telling them to apply the most minimal pressure to me when they were massaging me. I had 2 tubes sticking out of, I guess, the area near my pelvis, or my pelvis area. And that is where the drainage, the liquid, was supposed to come out of those tubes. I also had an incision near my tailbone, which again was meant to be for the drainage. And they massaged me. They actually noticed that I healed really, really fast, and the incision in my backside had completely closed. There was nothing coming out of there. In the front, I had a lot of liquid. I remember sitting up while they were massaging my stomach and feeling like I was peeing myself. I'm sorry if I'm getting too graphic, but there was that much liquid, which was a really good sign because it meant that the quicker that all that drainage liquid comes out, the quicker that you heal. That was the second day. I went back to the hotel after that. I spent time with my grandma. We just had really light food. I had soups and chicken, rice, stuff like that is really light and kind of bland. Because when you have surgery, you tend to A, not be so hungry, and 2, I felt really, really bloated and full. It's hard to explain. I'm a really good eater, so for me not to be hungry, it's It's a big deal. While I got the massage at the spa in the clinic, I did arrange for one of the girls to come to my hotel every day during my stay. The girl that came to do my massages was super sweet. She was hilarious the whole time. She just had me and my grandma laughing, which made the situation better because it's not a pleasant massage. It's not a relaxing massage at all. All you're thinking is, when is this going to be over? And I want it to be over really quickly. So she made it a point to make it extra comforting, and she was really funny. I would say the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth massage, even up to a week, were the most painful massages. All I felt was discomfort. It feels like your skin is very raw and like you have a dead leg. I don't know how to explain it. It feels achy, almost like a mixture between you went to the gym too much and you're really sore, and then mixed with your skin feeling really, really weird. For the first 10 days while I was there, I believe she charged me $30 per massage, which is really, really cheap. When you get here, the massages might range from $50 to $70 per session. There are certain places that offer packages. On the 7th day, I went back to the clinic to make sure that my incisions looked okay, and they took off all of my stitches, which was actually the most quick and painless thing. I must have been in that room for a total of 3 minutes. I'm not even exaggerating. This nurse had so much practice. She just did it in 1, 2, 3. She made no mistakes. There was no blood anywhere. I didn't see the doctor that day, but I did have an appointment with him right before I left, maybe like 3 days before I left, to make sure that the results were looking good, and so that I could be discharged properly and have peace of mind when I came here to the US. Also, I forgot to mention that on the evenings after surgery, for the first, I believe, 5 days, the doctor had prescribed these shots, and she would alternate each leg every other day. And basically it was just 1 shot per night, and it would help with blood clotting. So it would help with circulation, because you are kind of in one position most of the time, whether that be sitting down on your seat. Of course, there is a special seat. I ordered mine on Amazon, and mine just looked like a rectangle. And basically you would sit on it with just your thighs and kind of let your bottom hang off of it, so that it wasn't being pressed down on. During the day, I would kind of just sit on the seat because I know it wasn't affecting my results. And then at night, I would try to sleep on my sides. I would try and do some walking during the day, just around the hotel, nothing crazy, because I have to admit, Guayaquil is still a city and it can be dangerous there. As far as pain levels, I would say my pain at most was a 7 on the high peak days, like day number 2 and 3. And then it would go down to a 4. The rest of the days, I would say I had a pain level of a 3 out of 10. Nothing that I couldn't handle, and that's coming from somebody that is very sensitive to pain. So I'm gonna save you guys a ton of money and time regarding the kind of products that you should get for the surgery. One of the things that I purchased were the compression socks, which do help. However, I think I got the wrong ones. I think ones that go up to your thighs would be a lot more useful, because you do get a little bit swollen, and that eases your comfort. Another thing that comes in really handy is the arnica gel. By the way, I got all of these products on Amazon. Arnica gel is used to subdue the swelling, and you can also use it during your massages. So while they're massaging you, instead of using whatever it is that they use, the oils and the gels that they have, using arnica gel will reduce the swelling quicker. I also bought wee pads because I didn't want to make a mess out of wherever it was that I would be staying, whether that be my grandma's house or the hotel, and I kind of just laid it out all on the bed right before I would go to sleep in case I had any leaking, which, to be honest with you, by the 2nd or 3rd day, I had no more leaking overnight. which was kind of a surprise to me. I even came prepared with adult diapers because I figured if I had to go downstairs to eat or something, I just didn't want to be leaking through whatever I was wearing. It's also so important that you are your most comfortable during your stay and during your recovery. So bring a ton of robes, bigger style of sweatpants, just sweats, t-shirts, comfy slides or flip-flops, that sort of thing, like loungewear basically. I was under the impression that every night would look like a massacre. So the majority of the things that I brought were black, just because I didn't want to ruin nice things. Something I forgot to mention during my drainage massages was that this lady was such a professional that she noticed that my incision in the back had closed up, which is why I wasn't getting any drainage back there, and all of that fluid was building up. So basically what she did was she would bring a syringe with her every day, and this is gonna sound really crude, but she would stick the syringe in certain areas where the liquid was accumulated and basically drain it in a cup. So every day I was losing like a whole cup of whatever the liquid was. And what's interesting is that I would always feel my best right after the massage. That's when I would feel like I could run a marathon. Well, good luck to the ladies that do decide to get this done if they are debating it. And if you never have and never will, good for you too. Love you guys, and until next time.